Europa Park is one of those theme parks that people always seem to think is quite difficult to get to, and that's because of its location near the border of two different countries. But honestly, it really isn't that difficult to get to. If you watch my recent video, you will have seen that I went to Europa Park for the first ever time in January 2026. So in this video, I'm going to show you the simplest and most affordable way to get there from the UK, and it's a lot easier than you might think. If you don't already know, Europa Park is Germany's largest theme park, and it's consistently rated as one of the best in the entire world. It's got over 100 attractions, and within that there are 14 roller coasters to choose from, and that also does feature Voltron, which constantly features as people's number one. You've also got Silver Star, which is actually Germany's tallest and fastest roller coaster, and then you've also got Rulantica as well, which is constantly voted as Europe's best water park. As I mentioned, Europa Park is located in Germany, but it's on the border between two different countries, and they are France and Switzerland, so knowing which airport to fly into is a little bit confusing. The nearest airport to the park is actually in Strasbourg, which is in France. However, there isn't always direct flights there from the UK. You've also got Baden-Baden Airport, which is located in Germany, about an hour away. However, it can be a little bit more expensive than the next option that I am going to tell you about, and that's flying into Basel. In my opinion, the easiest way to get to Europa Park from the UK is by flying into Basel Airport. Basel is really well connected with lots of cheap and direct flights from most UK airports, including London, Birmingham, and then the one that I flew from, which was Manchester. Flight times are usually just under 2 hours, and prices can vary depending on which time of year that you do go. However, like I say, I went in January, and from Thursday to Sunday my flight did cost me around £55, which is a really good price. Once you land at Basel Airport, you are surprisingly close to Europa Park already, so you've got a few options to choose from depending on how you're travelling. Hiring a car is probably the most straightforward option if you are travelling in a group or in a couple. However, if like me, you're travelling solo or on a budget, the train is your best bet. But in order to get the train, you need to make a short bus journey into the centre of Basel. So when you're through passport control, you want to head right, and then you want to go towards the Switzerland side. And then when you exit the airport, the bus stop is right in front of you. After a very quick flight, we finally landed in Basel. It was a really quick flight and I managed to get a little bit of sleep, which was good. And so we're now going to wait for the bus and then head into the centre of Basel. As you can see, it was very late when I did arrive in Basel, so I did actually stay overnight in a hostel. If you are staying overnight, you normally do get provided a Basel card, which actually does provide you with free travel throughout the city. You also can use the booking confirmation of your hotel as well, and this provides you, again, free travel into the centre or all around Basel. However, if you are just going straight to the train station and then getting the train to Europa Park, I believe it does translate to around £4, I believe it is, and then that's for a single ticket. The journey takes about 15 minutes and then it stops right outside the main train station in Basel. There's several direct trains throughout the day from Basel to Ringsheim, which is actually the closest train station to Europa Park, and then from there you can actually get the shuttle bus. However, here's a quick disclaimer. I did actually misread the train station on the Deutschbahn app, which is where you would buy the trains, and instead of Basel SBB, which is the main train station, I did actually buy a ticket from Basel Bad train station. So this meant that I did have to walk 35 minutes to the other side of Basel to catch the train. However, if you do get the direct train from Basel SBB to Ringsheim, Basel Bad is actually the next stop, so it didn't really affect me too much. The next direct train to Ringsheim wasn't actually for another 2 hours, and obviously I wanted to get to the park as soon as possible, so I had to do a bit of improvisation, and hopefully by me making this mistake, it means that you won't do it in the future. I had to get the train to Offenburg, and there is actually a stop on this journey at a place called Hebolsheim. And if you are getting the direct train to Ringsheim, the stop before Ringsheim is actually Hebolsheim. So if you do make this mistake like me, or you have made this mistake, it doesn't really affect you too much on your journey, and you can actually get the shuttle bus from there. There are plenty of signs at Herbolzheim which direct you to the shuttle bus, and as I mentioned, the next stop on this is actually Ringsheim, but overall the journey takes about 10 to 15 minutes. The shuttle bus will then take you pretty much right outside Europa Park, and there you have it, you are at Europa Park. To get back, you just do the same journey but in reverse, and obviously this was very useful for me because I didn't go to the wrong train station this time. So when it comes to hotels, if you want the full experience, there is obviously the option of staying on site at Europa Park in one of their amazing hotels. However, these can be quite expensive. So if you're travelling on a budget like I was, then there are some great off-site options in nearby places such as Rust and also Ringsheim, which I did mention before. I stayed at the Holiday Inn in Ringsheim and I paid around £150 for 2 nights, and this did include breakfast as well, which was a fantastic deal. The hotel is about a 5-minute drive from the park. However, there is also a bus stop right outside as well, where you can catch the 7231 bus, which takes you directly to the park as well. Alternatively, you can walk to Ringsheim train station, which takes about 10 minutes, and from there you can actually get the shuttle bus. So if Europa Park is on your list of theme parks to visit, hopefully this video shows you that it's not too expensive or difficult to get to, and now that I know how easy it is to get to, I'm definitely going to be revisiting in the future as it's my new favourite park. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more videos about theme parks, travel and more, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you have been to Europa Park, let me know where it ranks in your favourite theme parks down in the comment section below. Goodbye.